meet you.
Well, good evening. Good evening and welcome. Great evening. I can't believe that Joe Hogan has to do this 4 times in his life. So, good for you. As Father Hurley said, I'm John Siegel, and I'm a little crazy, but I'm scared right now. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting me, I am the father of the bride. And I would like to, on behalf of my wife Virginia, and Jeff's parents, Sue and Steve Bushman, I would like to welcome you to the south side of Chicago. And for those of you that live in the neighborhood, I just like, hey, how you doing? I thank all of you for coming. As Father said, there are a lot of people who came a lot of distances, so thank you very, very much. Each of you is here because you played an important role in the life of Liz and Jeff, whether Liz or Jeff or Liz and Jeff. They wanted you to be part of their special day. So, Liz, thank you for inviting us. Well, what can I say about Liz? I waited until she was baptized to point out to Virginia that her nickname, being Elizabeth Clare, would be E. Claire. However, the name Lizard stuck. And Virginia, or Liz, is a perfect blend of Virginia and me. She was blessed with Virginia's grace for creativity, artistry, good taste in men. That is mostly from Virginia. But her love of reading, a glass of pure wine, her fondness for Crate and Barrel, and spur-of-the-moment naps. And Elizabeth has also inherited my good looks, my charm, my affability, my sense of humor, and most of all, my modesty. But to this very day, I wonder how she does those impressions. Where did she get that last? And most of all, where the hell did those teeth come from? It's customary that I tell an embarrassing story about Liz, perhaps the time that she stayed out too late, or got caught skipping school, woke up one morning with the flu, didn't do too well on a test, or something totally out of character. But those times are few. Since she was a month old and began sleeping through the night, Liz has been an ideal daughter. For me to tell an embarrassing story about Liz, it would be foolish, because she certainly has a lot more embarrassing stories of me. And chances are, John Gilligan, some of my embarrassing stories involve some of you, Mike Bolger. And without thinking too hard, I can even think a couple stories of Father Hurley. Right, Father? Liz, you have been a sweetheart, but I want to apologize for the times that I called you the Max Mini or Stella. As for my new son-in-law, Jeff, I first met Jeff on a Friday night in March of 2008. Liz and Jeff adventured from Dubuque to the South Side to see the South Side Irish Parade. I remember talking to Jeff, and the yes sirs, the no sirs, the pleases, the thank yous, and this kid was just too polite to be true. Or I wondered, maybe he was like when I met Virginia's parents, sort of like Eddie Haskell. So I talked to him, and I remember, is it Jeff with a J, although all my neighbors still call him Geoff. Where'd you go to college? Where do you work? Do you have any brothers? Do you have any sisters? Your parents work? How are they? Blah, blah, blah. And as we talked, I found out that he was actually a jock. He played basketball, football, and baseball. And he played golf. And I thought, that's great, because I love to play golf too. And I said, what do you shoot? And our handicaps were comparable, as we say on the South Side, comparable. And we talked about playing sometimes. And then I asked the question that we asked in Chicago. The question that we asked somebody. Cubs or Sox? Jeff answered it wrong.
No, he didn't. Go Cubs! Go Cubs! Welcome into the family.
You're in trouble.
I know.
So instead of me grabbing his beer, setting it down, going upstairs, and taking his bag, we turned the conversation to the other sports. And since then, Jeff and I have watched the Bulls, the Bears, Chicago's National League baseball team, and played many rounds of golf together, and I found out that he is a good guy. So I would like to ask Jeff. I have a little present for Jeff. I can take it. And I'm almost done. So, Jeff, since you are a good golfer, and I know that you use golf ones, I thought I'd buy you some Titleist. So if you want some Titleist. Thank you. They're really top plates in there. And I also bought you a Titleist hat. I just happened to notice. So, if we, I told him I wouldn't be too hard on him. All right. So let's raise our glass to Liz, to Jeff and Liz. Love one another and say you do. Listen to each other and hear one another. I'll make it. Learn something new from one another each day. Experience your similarities, embrace your differences, and may you grow old together.
You're right there.
Thank you.
I'll do another toast.
I wanted to.
And now I'm crazy enough to introduce Father Tom Herman.